Hello viewers, today we're going to be cleaning and servicing this EdenPURE Personal Quasars infrared portable heater. This is a 900 watts heater, and allegedly there are no user serviceable parts inside, but I do not believe that at all. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to open it up and service all the user serviceable parts inside, because I want to try to use this upstairs in the computer room. That's the only room that's kind of a little bit cold. It doesn't quite get the heat from the living room. The bedroom doesn't either, but I don't really care because all I do is sleep in there. But the computer room is too cold. So if I could turn this on and raise the computer room by 2 or 3 degrees, you know, within reason, maybe 4 or 5 if it's super cold, this would spare me from ever having to use the oil heat, which would be ideal. So there's a couple of things that we know need to be cleaned to start off with. The filter, of course, is filthy, so we'll clean that. But I want to take a look at all the air chambers and the fan and make sure everything else is reasonable in there before I use this. Never serviced one of these before, so we'll see how this goes. Looks like it should be kind of simple. Well, that was useless. Let's see if, but it is nice to know that this is metal and not all plastic. Well, maybe it wasn't entirely useless, because we could take this panel off. Like the top is going to come off now. In fact, I'm really glad that we're doing this, because now I know it's metal. That was my one reservation about this, was that it appeared to be all plastic. Okay, so we got a little blower wheel there, Quasar element. It looks fairly clean in here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. We got a problem up here. This is stripped. Not stripped. The plastic stud is broken off. So the screw is just spinning here, not coming off. Okay, so now the unit is mostly disassembled. And that wasn't too bad so far. I really like that this is all metal. Everything is encased in metal. I feel much better about this heater now that I know that. And it actually looks like everything is pretty well built. A nice terminal block up here. It is plastic, but it's sitting on metal. Everything is metal. All the air chambers are metal. There's the elements. Snap switch overload. I don't know what that is. It's something else, but it's all metal. So that's good. It's much better than the plastic designs. There's the blower wheel, which still spins pretty freely, but we'll try to give it some oil. That might be a little more challenging to get to, but I am up for the challenge, so let's see what we can do. And thanks to the filter, it's actually pretty clean in there. I'm surprised. I thought it would be a little bit dusty, but it's not. Alright, so in order to get to that fan, we can take off these cord wraps here. And we probably need to remove these screws in here, perhaps. Alright, that definitely released the top part of it. It's going to be like a stinking puzzle to get this back together. I think that will leave 2 more screws on each side. We're going to need a longer bit for that. And it looks like the same thing on the other side. Nope, there's no screw on the top on the other side. It's just about free. Something keeping it in place. The power cord is keeping it in place. And something on the other side. Oh, there's a circuit board bit. Oh, for that. Okay. Alright. That's going to take some effort to get that off. We're going to have to undo. Let's see. The majority of these wires, which is not hard because it's just an unscrew it. Maybe if I can just take off this side and then open it like a door. So I'm gonna try that. Take off the red and white power wires. Alright, that's good enough. If I take off that ground as well, that should allow me to open this up far enough. Okay, so now we have the blower here, which we could take off with these 4 screws on the front. All this to service a motor that spins freely. Let's see, do we need to? Yeah, we have to take, this is going to be the challenging part, is we got to take these screws out, and they're at a very difficult angle to maneuver. I'm not sure if we can get it like this. Yeah, how I'm going to do that. Try to break them free with a real short screwdriver, maybe. It'll fit. Oh, it'll fit. The right tool for the job is indispensable. All these pieces are pretty sharp. If you don't have calloused hands, this will cut you up real quick. That's my only complaint with the serviceability of this. Otherwise, it's surprisingly friendly. Alright, now it's almost off. There's one more screw to go, which is right under here at the bottom. And there's our blower fan, which we could unscrew and take away from this, and it would just be much more easily serviced that way. So we have, in terms of what we can lubricate here, we have the end bearing there. We have it. Okay, so I see how this works. So this is attached as a second bearing there. Because of the space of these bearings, we can actually drop oil into the wick without taking it apart. And then over here is like a rubber bearing, which probably can drop oil into there as well. How much of it will do any good, I don't know. But going to use some zoom spout oil. And what we'll do is we will try to get the oil into the bearing here. We're going to go in between. We want to get it in these holes here. That'll get it right onto the wicking surface that holds the oil and puts it into the bearing as needed. Starting to spill now. Not ideal. I don't have a I gotta go grab a ticker towel. Alright, so we got some oil in there, we got some oil on the other side, and then we're going to call this lubricated. It was already spinning pretty freely, so I'm not too concerned about getting a whole ton of oil in there. I think it has some oil. And then lastly, we'll try to get some oil down in here. I don't see any kind of wicking material on this part, so this might just be a drop or two on the shaft, and that's it. Might be a little more free than it was before. I don't know, it wasn't locked up before, so it's hard to say. But anyways, that's it. It's got some new oil in it now, so that's good. Now we can begin the fun of trying to put this back. The blower wheel itself is, it's got a little bit of dust on there. Try to blow it off a little bit right quick here. Nothing that's really going to restrict the airflow, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to start by putting these screws on the back side. At least get one of them in. And then I'll come back to that one that was on the bottom. Okay, got one of them in. Oh, you couldn't see that, but I just put the screw in up over there. Now I'll put this screw in. Now that it's somewhat secure, I'll wind this up and put this screw in here. Okay. Okay, so we're done here. We'll go ahead and reattach this grounding wire. Maybe I'll vacuum that out right quick before we close it up. It's not real bad, but might as well get as much dust out of there as possible. feed these wires back through here. We'll reconnect these. Okay, that's that. So now we'll resecure this back panel on. We'll start over here. Okay, that just broke, which is the same problem that we saw on the other screw. So the plastic must be starting to get brittle. So these things did not need to come off, these quarter wrap pieces. So we'll go ahead and put those back on. Okay, now we have nothing short of like a puzzle to get this back together. That definitely was the top. Maybe it doesn't go down all the way? Sure. Seems like it would have. That's kind of weird. Nope, it definitely doesn't because it meets the front piece just fine. Well, I might have to go back and review the video because this is getting flaky now. Off a lot of pieces and I don't remember exactly how they went. I want to say it goes like this because the holes kind of match up on the top piece when they're like this. No, maybe I'll have to look back at the video. I think it goes like that. The heck is this piece? Sure that it's going to go like this. I think it's going to go like that. I think we have to start by putting the front cover back on, because the sides was definitely the first thing to come off. Oh, I can't see what you're doing. I'm gonna show you on the other side right now, and it's the same thing. This is just a free video on the internet. It's not a Hollywood production. Some things aren't perfect. Okay, so now the top, which I believe is this piece, sits on like this, and it kind of grabs the front. But before that goes on, this has to go on. And this logically lines up with these holes here like this. So this has to go like that. And then this has to go like this. And the only thing that I don't understand, and perhaps will become apparent in a few minutes, is the fact that this seems like it should snap in there, but yet this is way too high up. So I think at this point we're going to turn it over. And let's see if we can screw the top on like this. Trying to get this screw into that stud right there. Let's see, did I get it? I think I did. Okay. So now that we have that there, I think I see what the issue is. So that stud there, I think, has to actually go through this part. So we need to move this over. That, it looks like that's what's going to be holding this up. So we need to move this over and then get that to go through, which it looks like it just did. Okay, so now it looks like that's correct. So let's go to the other side and see if it's possible to do the same thing. Something seems a little bit wonky to me, but maybe it'll all come together. So that stud there is broken, so we're not going to be able to put that screw in. So we're only going to be able to work with this one here and the front one. And the fact that that's broken is a good indicator that this does require some amount of force to make it go together the way it's supposed to. It's not quite over that. This stud needs to come through here. This is not quite right yet. There we go. So I think that's on there. We're missing 2 screws because 2 studs are broken, so we're going to have 2 screws left over. So now all that's left is going to be the bottom screws plus these pieces. I think that's on there correctly. Yeah, that looks right. So let's get these side screws in there. Looks like these, yeah, the tabs go on the bottom and then it kind of slides in, and this line meets up with a notch up there and it's in place like that, and it kind of brings the top into alignment as well, so no need to worry if those screws don't seem like they're going to line up. Okay, something is not right. Something is very wrong about the way this top piece is on there. Not correct at all. So we're going to have to take at least these side pieces back off again to figure out what the problem is. I kind of felt like something wasn't right about that, the way it was going on. I just can't fathom what the heck, how else it's supposed to be. Since we're back in here, let's get that rattling stud out of there. So clearly the problem is that those 4 pegs on the top are pushing this down, which I figured were going to be an issue, but I didn't see how else it would go. So this is now, this officially makes no sense to me. Yeah, that definitely was not correct. I had a hunch it wasn't correct. Not worried about that screw, I got an extra one anyways. I got an extra two. Alright, this is getting very interesting. And also a little bit annoying because it's tired and I'm late. How the heck does this go? The only logical way it could go. So then how? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Because no matter how this sits, that's always going to push it down. I think I'm going to have to review the video footage to see how it came off, because something... Oh, wait a minute. No, something just doesn't make any sense. And there's no other way it could go. It seems like it should be fairly obvious, but... Unless... Did I turn this when I took it off? Because if it was like this, then that would obviously cause a problem. Maybe that's what I did. Maybe it should be like this. Yeah, I can see the posts there. Okay. So maybe it's got to be like that. And that kind of makes more sense, because now it's like locked into place. Alright, let's try that. It's still a little bit flaky, but seems slightly better. Yeah, that lined up much easier that time. That might have been the problem. Hopefully it was. That looks much better now. It's still bowed a little bit, but that might just be residual bend. That seems fine now. Alright. I think we're back in business. Oh, now the whole thing is not lining up. Now what am I missing? close enough. I think I can get it to close like that. That's not bad. Alright, we'll go with that. Okay, so it's back together now. Let's go ahead and vacuum off the filter and the air intake. I wonder if this is the original filter or not. This looks like something that somebody cut by hand. This is just not on par with the rest of the unit. I suspect it would have had a foam filter maybe. But, I mean, this is fine. We'll use this for now. Yeah, this definitely is not the original filter. But it should serve the same purpose as the original filter. Okay, so now that that's all back together, let's go ahead and turn the thing on and make sure that it still works. Don't see any reason why it wouldn't, but stranger things have certainly happened. Put the this onto our kilowatt meter here and make sure the power draw checks out to be reasonable. You can hear the elements, and it's pulling 811 watts, which is right about what would make sense. Plus the addition of the fan should give us right around 900. And it really doesn't glow orange like it claims to in the photograph, which admittedly is kind of disappointing. Once the element gets up to temperature, it should turn on the fan. Yeah, curiously, that only brought us up like a couple of watts. Doesn't want to make any sense, but whatever. It's still 806 watts. It doesn't put out a lot of heat to me. It's doing something, but the airflow seems to be lacking. The fan motor only pulls 16 watts. .23 amps, power factor 0.56. It's pretty abysmal. It has a time delay until it turns the fan off to let the element cool off, which I like. It's fairly quiet. The serviceability, not bad. The case got a little confusing towards the end, but overall it's not bad. I really like that the inside is all encased in metal, so should there be some kind of catastrophic failure in there which results in a flame, it's enclosed in metal and it probably won't come up to anything. Whereas if it's in plastic, the whole thing just goes up, which scarily is a pretty common design for heaters nowadays. It's still throwing out some warm air, so this is good to let the elements cool off. Alright, so I'll wrap up this video. I will put this upstairs in service, see how it works.